I'm Kate McNamara, and I'm the mother of Bridget, a 23-year-old woman with Down syndrome. I want to talk to you about realising the vision for your child, based on our own experiences with Bridget. I want to talk about the importance of having a vision, about understanding your child and who you're dealing with, building supports around your child, about the support people you have, our model for Bridget and some examples of that, about managing the process, and lastly, about the NDIS. I should say from the start, although my child is older than many of yours, we are just as new as many of you with the NDIS. Having access to services to realise Bridget's dream is a new experience for us too. Over the past few years, we are doing so many things for the first time too. As Bridget has left school, the funding she receives may vary than for younger children. However, I think the principles still apply. So it may apply for you now, or at least down the track. The first thing is to have an idea of where you want your child to be in the years ahead. This vision for your child can help guide your decisions into the future. Think about where you and your child want to be in the long term. Just like many of you have dreams for your child, so too did we 20 years ago. From when Bridget was young, our long-term vision was always for her to work and to live independently and have a friendship group. Over the years, we have checked what we are doing against this vision we have for Bridget. To do this, there are a few essentials. You really need to know who you're dealing with, so to get inside your child's head. So for example, I understand that Bridget is shy and initially anxious. She is hearing impaired and speech is her major issue. I know that when she masters something, she has great concentration and stamina to do it for hours. I know that she finds social contact difficult. I know that she is competitive and likes to do well. I know that she loves music and art. So with all of that sort of information, it helped us a lot to realise the vision. So one of the keys to realising a vision is to having a plan. A plan is really helpful. And a plan is not a new thing. We had an IFSP initially, which is an individual family service plan that you're probably familiar with. Then at school, we had an IEP, an individual education plan. Now we need an NDIS plan. The plan will have many goals to it. These align with your vision for your child. It might be increased independence, it might be communication, self-care, work with friendships. It gives your plan direction. It's important to remember that the vision is long-term. The plan and goals help you to achieve it. Take small steps and chip away at what you want to achieve. So our model for realising the vision for Bridget builds on things around Bridget to make sure to take into account, one, her strengths and her issues, what we are trying to achieve overall, what motivates her, and lastly, try as best we can to make it fun. So Bridget's support staff. So Bridget is shy and very difficult to engage or communicate with. So unknown support people coming into work with her may not connect with her or understand her. So number one importance for us was to build a team around Bridget who would connect with her and relate to her. So instead of employing people on staffing sites, when I meet someone who really has a genuine connection with Bridget, who understands her and she responds to, that is the person who I employ. So I'm employing with a longer term view. I may meet them in one capacity of their work, see how they connect, and generally ask, do you do any private work? For families, it may be an amazing person you know, a dance teacher, a preschool assistant, a sports coach, a student you know. It doesn't have to be someone from the disability sector. So Bridget now has a small team that supports her and understands what we are doing and planning for. Now, what's really crucial for us, and it's really important, and that is to support the support staff, to bring them along with you. So to build a rapport, a shared understanding and loyalty. So be flexible with them. Don't burn people. everyone has to come along together in this process to support your child. So we set things up that fit into Bridget's interest and overall goals in her plan. So Bridget loves singing and watching the TV show Glee. And our goals for her are to increase her speech, communication, and build friendships. So with this in mind, I'll give you a few examples of what we've set up for Bridget. So to marry what she likes doing and what we need for Bridget, to bring these things together, we set up Bridget's own Glee club. So we hired a singing teacher, we hired a local hall, and we invited some friends. Every Wednesday, Bridget and her friends meet for Bridget's Glee club. Because we manage the club, we can add aspects to the group as we want, which fit in with the overall plan for Bridget. For example, the group chat at the start is to encourage speech and to build friendships and connections. So Bridget manages the groups, she opens the hall, she turns on the lights and the aircon, she brings refreshments, and this is creating independence and confidence in her. The group builds connections and friendships. So Carly Ann started as the singing teacher. Because of her great connection with Bridget and the group over time, her role has expanded into being far more social, going on outings, going to karaoke, sleepovers, going to the movies, etc. So this group has been perfect in every aspect of meeting Bridget's goals, and it suited her personally and was fun. So now with COVID, that group is online and facilitated by Carly Ann. Now I've probably got to the point of calling this a facilitated model, where someone, not me, is facilitating something individualised around Bridget to really address her particular needs. So this approach has really worked for her. We have now extended this model to an additional online friendship group, again facilitated by Carly Ann, with the goals of building communication, connection, and friendships. The key components to the model is that it's facilitated by Carly Ann with clear goals and is fun. In Bridget's case, her greatest need was practicing speech in a social setting, increasing confidence and independence, and building a solid friendship group. For your child, it might be increasing sporting skills, for example. It may mean approaching the local soccer coach and setting a group that's fun, but can also meet the goals you have for your child. So the model is very adaptable. So the other area with Bridget is art. So Bridget was mildly interested in art at school and expressed an interest to continue at post-school. She attends Studio Arts, a weekly group-based art program. So to really see what the potential was for Bridget's art, we employed an art tutor who has been with Bridget for 4 years now. So she produced works that we hang them up on the wall. We put them onto greeting cards, all to show her that her art is worthwhile. Her art now ticks many boxes. It's very meditative for her. It means that she is able to do her art in her downtime at home. It allows people to see her differently. It raises awareness of Bridget's talents to family and friends and work colleagues about her abilities, which is important for a predominantly non-speaker. It is now becoming a major part of her identity. The current planning stage for Bridget's art is looking at her working in an art-related area, a solo art exhibition, doing some art subjects at Sydney Uni, and setting up a micro art business. We did not expect any of that 4 years ago when we all got started. The next thing I want to talk about is managing the process. So when one of Bridget's sisters was quite young, she asked me if she would be looking after Bridget when she was older. And I said that she would not be doing the hands-on caring of Bridget, but she may be overseeing Bridget's care. So managing and overseeing Bridget's care or life, to me, is a model that is manageable and sustainable, not just for Bridget's siblings, but for all of us. So the model that I've wholeheartedly adopted is to oversee and manage Bridget's care. I don't do it all. So the next key part of Bridget's model of care is to outsource. Now, the first example, with the setting up of the Glee Club, I employed someone I knew, not from the disability sector as such, but one of those human dynamos we all know who did everything. She sourced and found a suitable singing teacher, Carly Ann. This person also found a suitable local hall and investigated the insurance we needed. When we need song lyrics prepared for the group, I flicked that job to her as well. Now, the second example of this is Carly Ann, as a performer, was the perfect facilitator for Bridget's Glee and friendship groups. I don't run those groups, I oversee them. The key to outsourcing is to be very clear on what it is you want to achieve. Do a job description. Make it as clear to everyone what it is that you want. It doesn't have to be long, just even one paragraph. We are trying to achieve X, and this is how we plan to do it. Maybe put a time limit on it as a trial. If it doesn't work, try something else. Now, when I plan, I include the support staff. I see them as Team Bridget. They usually have great ideas for Bridget and know how to achieve them. Outsourcing has now extended to transport. Previously, I was spending a lot of time driving Bridget around, and I realised that it just wasn't really sustainable and it needed me to be around the whole time. So Sheba is an emerging Uber equivalent, cars with only female drivers to specifically transport women, children and vulnerable passengers. Check them out. If they are not in your area, contact them via Facebook to show that there is an interest in your area for them to set up. Finally, I want to talk about the NDIS. It has been a lifeline really for us. I self-manage Bridget's NDIS plan, and self-management has been essential. It has allowed me to employ people in the mainstream rather than only the disability sector. And the benefits of self-management far outweigh the need to pay and claim probably 15 invoices a month. The flexibility it provides is essential for a truly individualised plan for your child. It allows you to be creative, to realise the vision for your child. It's important to remember that managing your child's plan and activity is not always doing it. I have the overview and I set the direction, but I don't do all the work. I outsource things when I can. I feel this is the only way for me to really get an individualised plan for Bridget, one that is truly planned around her rather than generalised around a group of people she may be with. If you are looking at supports in terms of your respite, it will not be as beneficial as looking at supports which are for your child's benefit. I find out most things from other parents. It's just been the way over the last 23 years. Maybe it's because other parents like me have a vested interest to know and understand how things work, be that the NDIS, schooling, transitions, what services are out there, what specialists are the best, etc. MyTime is a national program with facilitated groups all around Australia for parents of a child with a disability. It's where parents can come together and share information about all sorts of things. Google MyTime and find a local group. Now with COVID, some of these groups are online. It's so easy and convenient to tap into information online. And it is important to be informed and up to date. Things have changed from the old ways of doing things. Get up to date and informed. It needs to be a part of your plan. The NDIS funding can be used by parents for their own training and education. This is so important because empowered parents empower their children. If this all sounds overwhelming, bringing someone you know who is good at brainstorming, coming up with ideas, have regular planning meetings. You don't have to be have all the knowledge and expertise. Gather others around you. If you are thinking that you don't have capacity in your NDIS plan for any of these sorts of things, keep it in mind for the next NDIS planning meeting. Be creative in the next plan. Remember, this is long term, just aim towards it. Maybe you might be able to be creative and plan with other families so you get to pool your funds so they go a little bit further. So just to finish up, what we have achieved has not been at an enormous cost. If anything, it has been quite cost effective and efficient. With self-managing our NDIS, we are not tied to the disability sector, but free to employ in the mainstream, in the community, locally. I often think this model would work really well in regional areas when therapists may be hard to find on a regular basis. So to finish up, we are still chipping away on achieving our vision for Bridget. We set goals, we still check them against what she's doing and are seeing results. She's grown and developed her skills and confidence. She has genuine friends, interests and pastimes. Bridget's sisters are both adults now as well. I feel confident that the model we have established for Bridget is individualised to suit her and sustainable into the future.